Yeah, like a couple of weeks ago, I was out on the motorbike in Idaho, about 10 miles from anyone in the back country.
Don't do dumb things when you're 10 miles out.
No.
Welcome back to the Rangeless Travel Podcast. We're your favorite adventure travel hosts. I'm Britt, and this is Ryan. Together, we travel the world by plane, train, and '89 Ford Sportsmobile. Currently, we're traveling the U.S. in an old van with our 2 dogs, Layla and Cedar. Every Tuesday, we share stories and tips to inspire you to book that next trip. So go ahead and don't be shy. Follow along with us at Rangeless_ on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Let's dive in. And this week, we are tackling one of the often asked questions while living in a van. Is it safe? I feel like as a woman, I've gotten asked this a lot of times. But Ryan, do you ever get asked, is it safe to live in a van?
I mean, I've been asked a couple of times, but nothing like too crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't remember exactly who did.
It's all right. You don't need to name drop.
No.
They'd probably prefer if you didn't. For like all 5 people that watch our videos, they'd probably much prefer that you didn't name drop and out them like that. Put them on the spot.
Yeah, I mean...
But you get asked.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
It definitely happens.
And I would say, I mean, I get asked less now, and I'm not sure if it's because, like, this is super embarrassing, but, like, I'm living in a van with a man and not by myself.
So you got me for protection?
Yeah, or if it's just, like, I've been doing this for the past, like, 10 years, so people are just like, oh, she's fine. Living in a van hasn't taken her out yet, so, like, she's probably going to be just fine. Or if I just, like, talk to less people, so, like, there's less people asking me. That could be true.
That could be it.
That could also be it.
That could be it.
And, like, most of my friends now are friends, like, travel friends that, like, either also travel or I've met traveling, so it's not like, is it safe, because they live a similar lifestyle to me.
Yeah, they've all been backpacking, they've all done.
Yeah, we're like 10 years ago, like when I first started living that kind of lifestyle where I'm traveling all the time and I was solo. Most of the people in my social circle like had never seen anyone do that before. They never heard of anyone doing that. And then layer on top of it, like being a young woman.
Right.
They were like, sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
But I get it less now. Like, no one asks me anymore. They're just like, yeah, she's fine.
Yeah, you're the expert traveler.
Yeah, but I'd say that, yeah, it is. It can be dangerous.
Of course it can, yeah.
Also, like, it cannot be dangerous. I don't find it any more dangerous or less dangerous. But I think there's a few different, like, categories in which you can, like, place the danger into. So it's, like, danger of other people out there. Danger of something malfunctioning with your van or like some sort of accident.
Yeah, and getting stranded.
Yeah, and then
danger from like wildlife.
Danger from wildlife. And like that's really it.
Yeah. That's about it. Those are like the main ones for sure.
Yeah, so if we go into danger, I think the first and foremost is the one that people think of is like
other people.
Other people.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most dangerous is other people.
Right.
Man or bear, I choose the bear every time.
Yeah.
Every time I choose the bear. But I think at the end of the day, it's just listening to your gut. And the thing with the van is you can always leave.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it, I think, is like if someone's weirding you out or if you're feeling sketchy or in a weird situation, you just drive away.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're not stuck there.
No.
You have your vehicle. And there's a few things that we do to protect ourselves from potentially sketchy people, right? So like first and foremost, we don't post our exact location in real time.
No.
Most of our content is a few days to like months after we've actually been to a place and left.
Right.
And then let's say like we're really excited about somewhere we are and we want to post right away like on a story or something, we will, but like we won't tag where we are.
No.
Like I think I recently...
The most we'll do is like, oh, we're in British Columbia.
Yeah, like we're in BC. Like, good luck finding us.
Yeah.
So it's something like that. Like you're just not sharing real time, which is kind of common knowledge and basic like internet safety at this point that I think most people are aware of. And then we do some things like practices like inside the van in which to keep us safe. So like we have a spot that we put our keys.
Yeah.
And when the keys are not in the ignition, they go in that spot. So if we would need to
Move
leave really quickly.
We know exactly where the keys are at
Yep.
all times, and we can just grab them and go.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that we do is both of our front seats swivel around full, like a turnaround to like make it like a living room in the back, facing towards the back. But at nighttime, we turn the driver's seat back to face the driving steering wheel.
A lot of times we don't even turn the driver's seat at all. Like
Yeah.
it will just remain in the driving position,
Yeah.
if you would. And a lot of times it becomes a dumping ground. But
It takes 2 seconds to throw everything out of the way.
yeah, but
and
it's ready
get
to
going.
jump.
Yeah.
Like you can jump in and start driving it. Like God forbid we needed to. We've never needed to.
No.
But it's there, and that's a safety thing. And then that's really all we do for as far as setup goes, but there's more you can do. Like we've talked about adding security cameras
Yeah.
to the outside of the van, because when you're inside the van, we have a lot of windows, but when it's colder or at night, we close all our blinds so you can't see in.
Right.
Because
Well, if you're looking out and it's nighttime, someone can see you looking out. If you have any lights on in the van at all, you're a silhouette.
Yeah.
They can see you. You have to turn off all the lights
You're
in
in
the
a
van
fishbowl.
to look out, so no one could see you. It'd be nicer to have infrared cameras on the outside of the van, all four sides,
So
to be
we'd
able
be
to
able to
see
see
a
what's
full
going on.
360. That's
lot of
something that I want
people-
to do in the future.
a lot of people have them. Like I've seen
Yeah.
other vans with them, and I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And that's really it as far as what we do for safety like things. And then I guess we have like some equipment, like safety equipment.
Yeah.
Like we have bear spray, but
Yeah.
you could get creative. You could use bear spray for whatever you need to.
Yeah.
If it works on a bear,
It works on a bear, it'll work on anything.
on a man. So
Yeah. And then,
kitchen utensils.
yeah, a cast iron pot will go a long way.
Yeah. I've seen the movies. I would grab a cast iron pot. So then it's just like, things like
Yeah.
that. But
And then also I have an updated, I got the new iPhone that has the satellite like connection. So if there's no signal at all, I can still update my
mine has that.
location.
Mine has an SOS.
Yeah, and you can SOS over the satellite, so you don't need cell reception. Because a lot of the places we go, we don't have any cell reception.
Yeah.
And then we also have Starlink, which is usually out all the time. And
So
so
we
if we
can
needed
connect.
to, we could quickly send an emergency message out, or give a Wi-Fi call or whatever.
Yeah. And then the next kind of category, because that's it for like a human issue.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to human issues, just listen to your gut.
Yeah.
If something is telling you that somebody is off or something is off, just listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And
sometimes like you'll get like alarm bells for no reason.
yeah, but that's the fine line, and I talk about this
Yeah.
a lot. It's the fine line between like what your gut instinct is telling you and your own like personal anxieties or
Right.
fears.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of practice and like a lot of self-analyzing and a lot of self-trust to be able to draw that line between the two. And it just takes practice. It's just like a muscle. The more you use that muscle, the more you listen to yourself and your gut. And
Right.
just trust your gut.
Yeah.
And learn the different feelings between anxiety and nervousness and being scared, and like when your gut's like something's off.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the things I did recently, we were in a campsite in Alabama, and there was a man, and he was kind of sketchy, and he was asking us like a lot of like very personal questions, and
Right.
and like I know I was asking myself like while I was talking to him, I was like, okay, is he just being like overly friendly Southern, or is he being a sketch and gathering information on
Right,
right now? And like I wasn't sure. And we were talking about this earlier, and Ryan's like, didn't you give him one of our stickers? Because when we travel around, if you meet us in the wilds, we will probably give you a sticker
Yeah.
that like says our YouTube name on it. So if they want to follow us or something, it's kind of like our little like business card, but it doesn't have our phone numbers on it, right?
Right.
It's just our handle. And I was like, oh, here's one of our stickers. If you want to watch us on YouTube, we upload every week. And my thought behind that was like, if he has any sinister ideas, I just told him like people are expecting us online. Like if
Right,
we
right.
don't upload online, there's going to be people looking for us. So sometimes it's just kind of like dropping that someone's looking for you, or like just lying and saying you're not by yourself. Like I know when I would travel by myself, like I'd sometimes put like my shoes and my sneakers outside the van, so it looked like there were two people there.
Yeah, we usually leave both our pairs outside.
Yeah.
I might leave my hiking boots out there.
Sometimes I used to set up, when I was by myself specifically, I'd set up like 2 chairs outside so it looked like there was 2 people there. A lot of people do that. So there's just like little things that you can kind of send the message like, oh, I'm not alone.
And if they say, like, a lot of times people are like, are you by yourself here or whatever? You're like, no, my friend's coming later today. Yeah, they're on their way.
Or don't even say that. Be like, oh, no, my friend's here.
Yeah.
No, of course I'm not by myself. And leave it.
Yeah.
You don't even have to add anything else. Are you by yourself? No.
No.
My bodybuilding husband's here.
Yeah.
Mess with that. Lie to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's people. I think the next kind of category that people think about, they're like, oh my gosh, is it safe from the wildlife?
Yeah.
Are you going to get eaten by a bear? And like, honestly, sometimes I have day nightmares in which I'm like, I know a bear is, like, especially when we leave the dogs. My brain goes, I know what happened while we were gone. We were gone for 12 minutes. And I went into the grocery store, and I'm going to come back out, and we'll leave the top popped so it's like soft around the top. And I'm like, and a bear got in, and they got the dogs.
Yeah.
The likelihood of that happening is so slim. And most bears are scaredy cats.
Most
so if
black bears, at least.
Yeah,
maybe
so
not a grizzly.
if they hear barking and stuff, usually they're like, I don't want to deal with that, first of all. So we do have the dogs. Second of all, we carry bear spray.
We do.
Again, I have a knife I carry around when I go running
whistles,
and stuff.
we got bear sprays. Noises usually, like, scare them off.
Talking a lot of times will scare the bear, like most bears off, because most bears
are afraid of people.
Either
Unless you go to like Yellowstone, where they're like no longer afraid of people because people try and feed the bears and stuff.
Yeah, but if you're worried about it, or if you're in an area with some high volume, one of the things I'll do is we have a little like emergency radio that's like a crank and it's a solar panel, but like it just has the antenna.
Yeah.
And I'll just put that radio on. It also works with men, because then they don't know how many people are in there, how many people are there, because they just like hear voices. So it works for man and bear.
Yeah. Or you could just play a podcast or something like that. Two people talking.
But if you don't have internet, sometimes you can't get a podcast.
We always have internet.
I know, but not everyone does.
Yeah.
So one of those emergency radios are good because you can just turn on the radio and they'll just be talking.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter what it is, but a bear is going to be deterred by that.
Right.
And then we have the dogs. The dogs bark. We have bear spray.
Yeah, and then we keep a clean camp is the main thing. Yeah. The bears are inquisitive. They're looking for food. That's what it is. They're like a giant raccoon. So, like, you leave trash around, they're coming.
Yeah, and the more north you get, the bigger the raccoons get.
The bigger the raccoons get. That's what it is. So we will cook and clean up right away.
Yep.
A lot of times we'll cook and then move somewhere else to sleep for the night.
Yeah, if we're in like a super...
Yeah.
Like if there's like a lot of grizzlies or stuff, or there was just like something that happened.
You cook, like you find a place a couple miles from where you're going to be planning on parking that night, and then you do all your cooking there. You can get rid of any smelly stuff you have in garbages, and then drive.
If there are any.
Well, we're in BC right now, so there's a lot on the side of the roads.
And they're all like in the bear.
They're bear-proof containers, so that's really helpful. And then we drive and we park somewhere else for the night, so that there's no smells coming from the van. There's no food. There's no waste that would attract them.
And I think that's really the only wild. I mean, I guess you could say, like, what about wolves? Where we are right now, but we haven't really...
We haven't encountered any. We've heard a few coyotes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and coyotes are usually scared of cats.
Yeah.
I just make sure I watch the dogs.
Mountain lions and stuff like that.
I see, mountain lions I'm actually afraid of. I'm much more afraid of a mountain lion than I am a bear, because like, if I run into like a bear on a trail or something, first of all, do not run. Me and Ryan talked about this the other day. He's like, I would just run away. And I'm like, you're going to die.
No, I said spray it and get away.
Yeah. So you don't want to run, whatever you do. If you have your bear spray, like our bear spray works up to like 20 feet or something like that.
30 feet.
30 feet. So just make sure you don't like...
Just make sure you're upwind. Make sure it's not blowing back in your face. You know?
You can spray that. You also can like bang pots and pans. You can clap, make lots of noises. Hey, bear, go away, bear, go away. You know, just be stern. Don't stare it in the eye.
No.
Like a monkey. You don't stare them in the eye either. So don't stare it in the eye, but like, you know, and then back away slowly. Don't put your back towards it. Grizzly bears are a whole nother story.
Yes.
If a grizzly bear is attacking you, you just need to fight with everything you have.
No, grizzly are not winning. You have to lay down and pretend to be dead.
Grizzly bears eat you before you are dead, or before you're dead.
Yeah, but if it's black, you fight back. If it's brown, you lay down. And if it's white, say goodnight.
That's a cute riddle.
That's it.
Yeah, so there you go. But a mountain lion, on the other hand, if you're like, I run a lot.
Yeah.
So if you're running or you're on a trail or something, the mountain lions will get like above you.
Yeah.
And they like jump down onto you, so you don't even know that it's coming, where a bear will like usually stagger out of like
Bears are
the
loud too.
brush
They make a
somewhere.
lot of noise. You hear them coming.
Yeah,
like,
so
they're
I'm
not
much-
stealthy creatures like a mountain lion.
So yeah, I'm much more nervous about mountain lions, but for the most part, I just keep a lookout for tracks.
Yeah.
I look for droppings. I look
Yeah.
for paw prints. I look for any kind of evidence that there was something there, and that's it. Like, that's
Yeah.
all you can do. And again, the bear spray works on mountain lions. So
Bear spray works on everything.
it works on everything. Animals of all kinds.
Yeah.
So that's what we do for that. And then is there any, I mean, there were alligators in Alabama when we were there. So we just kept the dogs away from the water.
Yes. Yeah. Stay away from the banks of the water.
I think part of the staying safe around wildlife is knowing what wildlife is in the area around you and respecting it.
Yeah, but
and
that's what we
just-
do. Like, anytime we're going anywhere, we always check up, like, predators that are there. Like,
Partly
or large
because-
mammals like elk and moose and things like that. Like, because they'll mess up
Yeah,
your
the
day too.
moose will come at you. But mostly because we want to see them.
Yeah, but you also...
But also to prepare.
And snakes and anything like that, you need to
Yeah.
know what is in the area, so you need to watch out for.
Yeah, and it's just be respectful of it and like do a little bit of research. It only takes like a really quick Google search to be like, oh, there's this in the area, so
Yeah.
behave this way. Like even not that long ago, we were on a hike and there was a mama deer with like 2 baby deers.
Right.
And like deers are usually pretty docile animals, but they got babies, so you don't know. So we just kind of like hung back on the trail and like enjoyed getting to see them, and they were so close and they were so beautiful. So we just kind of hung back, got to see them, and then mama went on her way and babies followed, and we were like, wow, that was magical.
Yeah.
You know,
That
and,
was it.
and
You
that
just-
was it.
We weren't like, don't go between mom and the babies, because that could be an ass whooping.
Yeah. And she's going to win.
Yeah. And then, like, what are the other
The
threats?
next one, I would say, like, we could say Mother Nature. I don't think I said that in the beginning. Like, Mother Nature, like
think Mother
inclement
Nature's a-
weather. So,
yeah.
like, flash floods, tornadoes, hurricanes, torrential downpour, like anything. Like, heavy winds. Like, you're in
Like,
a van.
really, really hot.
Really hot or really cold can all
Yeah.
be Mother
Yeah,
Nature.
they're
And
all
you
things.
can't control it.
No. So, like, flash flooding, go to high ground. Our van is pretty good. Like, the air intake is really high up. It's, like, almost up to my chest. So we'll be pretty good in, as far as driving through water.
Yeah, but flash flooding is hard because it's really unpredictable. So
Yeah.
I think if you're going into an area, you just have to do the research to see if you're going through
There's
it during a
warnings and
time of
stuff like
year.
that.
During a time of year, there will be seasons depending on where you're going. So you have to research the different places
Yeah.
that you want to go, and then like what seasons are the best to go in that aren't gonna have these events that happen, right? So like you may not want to go to the Florida Keys during hurricane season.
No.
You know, it's things like that. It's really just researching it. But
Yeah.
we did just drive through a few weeks, maybe a few months back now, through Texas, like right
On the cusp.
right
of-
on the cusp of when they were getting all the
Tornadoes, yeah.
season. And tornadoes are hard because you can't just watch the weather. Like a
No.
hurricane, you're like, oh, I know for weeks. Like if a hurricane is coming and you are somewhere where there is a hurricane and you're living in your van,
You have time to get out.
you have to get out. Or
Yeah.
even like, but like for a tornado,
No, they happen in like a matter of
whenever
minutes.
there's a thunderstorm, there can be a tornado. So if
Yeah.
you're driving through that area, it's just important to know. I've lived in areas where there's a lot. I lived in Tornado Alley. And basically, if you're on the road somewhere, I was always told just go, if you're like in a built up area, right? You go to our Walmart, Home Depot, like any kind of store, any kind of strip mall. If it's like really bad, you pull over, you just go inside. Like the
Right.
people in there will grab you up and if you're not, especially if you're not from somewhere with tornadoes, they'll know right away. They'll snatch you up. They'll bring you into the room where everyone is. Like
Yeah.
they'll help you stay calm. People, when there's something like a tornado or something like that, really come together. So just look for people. Just pull over and
Yeah, get
look
out
for,
of your van and just take the dogs with you.
Yeah,
and
just
you only
go inside a
find
Walmart.
shelter,
Like,
yeah.
just go inside a Walmart. Usually a Walmart in those areas will have some sort of, like, internal room that doesn't have windows or anything, which is what you want to stay away from, and you just go in there. Don't get out of your vehicle. I've heard some people be like, oh, yeah, if you're driving, there's a tornado, get out of your vehicle and, like, go inside a ditch. But don't think that that's the best idea because there's usually a lot of debris and stuff flying. So you want to stay safe from the debris and you don't want to get hit with the debris.
Yeah, that's usually what.
So if you're in nowhere that you can get away, make sure you stay inside your vehicle. Now,
And then someone told you to park under an overpass if possible, but then I heard the opposite. I heard like stay away from under overpasses because like the pressure that can cause a lot of negative pressure under there and lift up the vehicle or something like that. I don't know.
So if anyone knows the whole underpass during a tornado situation, we've heard opposing.
Conflicting, evidence, or not evidence, but anecdotes, I guess. But yeah, we'd love to know what you're supposed to do there.
Yeah, so please let us know because I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I think I had one other one, but I forgot because we started talking about something else.
But then the hot weather.
Oh, hot weather, yeah.
Hot weather, we carry a lot of extra water. We have a 20-gallon freshwater tank that we typically don't drink out of. And then we also have 10 gallons of fresh drinking water that we always fill up if we know it's going to be hot.
So we just make sure that we have enough water.
And we have enough water. And we have the ability to filter the water that's in the 20-gallon freshwater tank that we don't drink so that we can drink it. So we have plenty of water. We have enough to last there for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we should be fine with that. And then the other thing is we'll look for more.
We avoid the heat.
Yeah, we avoid the heat. We look for, what is it called when it's not hot and it's not cold?
Temperate.
Yes, we look for temperate weather. That's what we do.
That's
we look for more temperate climates. If it's super hot, we look for elevation. If it's getting cold, we go down.
Yes. And there was a heat wave last week and we drove, I think it was 600 miles north. Like we're in the middle of BC right now and we we were down in Washington.
Mm-hmm. And it was supposed to be like 100 degrees. So we
saw the weather was going to be really hot. So we're like, we just got to keep driving north. And if it's really, really, really hot, we can run the AC while we're driving because we don't have AC that runs like when we're not driving. We have to run the engine for our air conditioning. So it's a lot cooler and more comfortable for us and for the dogs.
If we're just driving.
If we're driving through the hot, hot days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll take Then when it cools down a little bit, we'll stop for a few days and get some work done.
Yeah, like now.
Like now, yeah. Because now it's beautiful. But 2 days ago, it was like
really, really hot.
Really, very uncomfortably hot.
Yeah.
Another thing, forest fires. We've seen a few in the distance, but none that has been like a threat. No. But again, just watch the warnings.
Yeah. We have apps for everything. We've got like Climb, and then there's apps from like the Weather Service. All of those things have alerts.
And you'll get alerts.
And I have push notifications turned on. And then
for emergencies.
For emergencies, for flooding, for fires, for extreme heat, everything. Mm-hmm. So like it's more about planning ahead and thinking in advance, because the likelihood of, if you know about a forest fire beforehand, the likelihood of getting caught in it is very low. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're just out here and we're not watching and we don't have internet and we're not checking anything, then we could potentially get in trouble. Yeah.
And then with that, or with all of the different weather things that you can come into, besides moving with the weather so you stay in more temperate climates, is we do have an emergency radio. So we can turn that radio on, and it has the weather broadcast, and it will tell us what's going on in that radio. It's a hand crank, it's a solar,
we don't have to worry about charging it.
Yeah, so that's, I would recommend, if you're going in a van, to get one of those. Yeah. Just because
peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Yeah. You can figure out what's going on even if you have nothing else.
And it doesn't cost you anything more than just buying a $20 radio. You know? Yeah. The other.
So we've done humans, animals, Mother Nature.
Yeah, Mother Nature. Last thing.
The van itself.
Yeah. So.
That's not the last thing either.
Well, the fourth thing.
Yeah, the fourth thing.
The fourth thing.
The van itself.
The van itself,
So you can break down, you can get a flat tire, you can overheat, you can blow a gasket, I don't know, the van things. That's more his thing,
there's a bunch of things that could happen that would make us stuck. Mm-hmm. Or Like you could have a blowout that could be dangerous. You could have,
But we have a spare tire. That's the thing. And so it's just like having the things you need. So we have a
we have
spare
a spare
tire, we have a jack.
I have a bunch of spare parts. Like I have a couple spare spark plugs. I got spare wires for spark plugs. I got oil. I've got
all
extra
the things.
gas. I've got
Additional to that, then we also have AAA.
Yes.
And we get like the fancy AAA. So you get like more towing longer.
They'll tow you like 200 miles, provided you're on road when you break down. If you break down out here, not so much. But
you just have to kind of do your best when it comes to the van itself.
Yeah, with the van itself, the main thing we have as well as a backup and like a safety measure is the motorbike.
Yeah.
So like if the van is disabled, then one of us, probably me, can jump on the motorbike, go to the nearest parts supply store or mechanic or towing yard or whatever and get help or get the parts that I need to fix it to come back to repair or get towed out. So it's not like we're completely stranded, you know?
Yeah.
And if it was that bad and I couldn't get it out, I could go get a rental car or a truck or something and put Brit and the dogs in it and get them out of there and put them somewhere for the night and then figure it out.
Figure it out from
but
there.
Like we're not like hiking 50 miles to the nearest village, you know? Yeah.
We can figure it out.
We can
It'll
figure it out.
be okay. Now this I think is the last thing is accidents.
Yeah, so
road
accidents,
road
or
accidents,
getting hurt
or
while
a
hiking,
or a physical accident to you.
The dog's getting hurt or something like that.
So I have first aid kits for us and the dogs.
Right.
I have all kinds of basic medication, not large quantities of it because we're never like that far away.
No.
So I have enough to get us to where we're going. Similar to when we're backpacking. Like I always have enough to get us by until we can make it to a pharmacy, right? Which is usually like 2 days worth of whatever. So I have the basic stuff. I have lots of like wound kits and ointments and stuff for humans, dogs, crossovers. And that's really all you can do. And then don't do stupid shit.
Yeah.
Like out in public. My rule of thumb, because I used to be a little bit of a daredevil.
Yeah.
So like I would, like if we were going to a watering hole, like I'm like, where's the highest point I can jump? I'm crawling up there and I'm jumping off. Now I'm like, how did I get in here? If I can't get out of here easily, or if they can't get in here to get me, I'm not going to do risky stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't have health insurance.
Yeah, I was
nothing's covering that.
Yeah, like a couple of weeks ago, I was out on the motorbike in Idaho, about 10 miles from anyone in the back country.
Don't do dumb things when you're 10 miles out.
No.
That's the rule.
Yeah, it was in the back of my head the whole time. It was like, don't be going too fast. Don't be doing anything silly.
Plus, you wore all the appropriate equipment. You had like
I had all
riding
my
pants on,
gear,
a
my
jacket
helmet, jacket, pants, shoes, all of that, gloves. But, you know, anything could happen. And actually, later that same day, we got a flat tire on the bike. And guess what? I didn't have any of the flat tire repair stuff with me that morning when I went out into the backcountry. But
we still don't have any of the flat tire repair stuff.
I do.
Oh.
We got it now.
Oh, I didn't realize you ordered it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I did. After that day, I was like, oh, I should probably make sure I have that.
So what is flat tire repair stuff for the bike we have?
So it's a tube bike. So it's not tubeless tires, it's tube tires. The tubes go inside. So I have bead breakers, so like that get the tire off. I have wrenches that I can take the wheel off the bike and then pull out the tube. I have a spare tube in the box, put the new tube in and pump it up.
So you have a tube, wrench, and a pipe, and a pump.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else that we have to be safe on the road?
We pay attention to the speed limits. Don't be driving crazy. Watch for like warning signs and things like that. We're not racing anywhere.
Use common sense.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, to stay safe on the road is trust your gut and use common sense.
Yeah.
That is it for this week's episode of the Rangeless Travel Podcast. If you want more from us, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
Spotify.
And Spotify and wherever else you get your podcasts from. Until next week.
Bye.